Oi oi, how you doing? Today is Tuesday, the 8th of December 2020. Starting a bit later today than normal. Just learning through a few lessons from last session. I'll get into that in a bit. But I'm here today trading UK horse races, just like you would financial markets. I do stream this daily on Twitch. It's just Mr. Exchange Trader, and then upload later to YouTube. So if you find what's useful, you can obviously follow on either of those. If you are on YouTube, do feel free to like the video if you find it useful, and subscribe as well, so you can just keep in the loop, see my progress. There's a playlist there as well, so you can see my progress so far. But this is episode 20. What is this? 27. It's 27 days of doing this, trading at low stakes, £2. Going to be doing that for not too much longer. Just it depends on how things go. But yeah, let's kick off. Let's see what we got going on in the market. So we've got 90 minutes off on this, 45 grand matched, 101 book. Good trading conditions here. Favorite at falls, which has drifted and looks like it's found it's kind of hit resistance. It's highs there and could be punching higher to move past those, or potentially bouncing and coming back to find support at these previous lows, its previous support. Second favorite here has been steaming in, so it looks like there's some inverse correlation between these two. They're diverging. This is going up, this is going down, which is good, what we want to see. So potentially be long on this, potentially be short on this. The others are quite flat. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Yesterday was a bit of a challenge because there was such a big gap between each of the races, and I'd certainly felt my concentration going there, but still was able to turn a profit. Was quite discernible on the ones that I didn't trade as well, and that was helpful. So that's good news in terms of progress. So what are we looking at here? So I'm just going to try and get a reading, see what the price levels are that I'm looking at here. It's about 4.5. Okay. This does look like it's on a break as well, potentially higher. So it's broken these highs, whereas before I was saying it's consolidating. Viably, it could be punching to make new highs and drift. Similar on this. These look like these are inversely correlated. This is punching a bit higher. This is punching marginally lower. Sevens is a good reference point on this crossover. Should it break sevens? So to short that, because it will be a break of this support, and we've got other things that are moving the opposite direction. But yeah, it's just try and structure trade at least on one of these. 17 minutes 45 seconds to the off, so nice amount of time. Can't get an accurate read on that number that it's broken. It's maybe 6.2. So maybe a break higher of 6.2 or a break of sevens. Does that dip below it? So I'm speculating that this could punch lower. Not the best liquidity on this as of yet. So using smaller stakes is definitely something that's only really suited to this type of market. I really probably won't be able to absorb bigger position sizes. But I've got some skin in the game there. Put in a closing order here. Just trying to get filled on this. The market has gapped, hasn't it? So that's not good. Typically, you want the price to be. You don't want it to be, too much of a spread between the lay and the back price. And you can see at the moment there is a gap. It's just been filled but that's what you want to see. It, no gaps on the book. But yeah, this is, I'm aware of the risks with this one. Slightly liquid market, higher stakes as well. But yeah, again, if it goes right, it's down to me. If it goes wrong, it's down to me. It's my fault. So just got to take responsibility for the risks that it's taking. It's relatively light position, but I'm just assuming that this level here at 7s is potentially going to hold at resistance, or at least it's going to consolidate there for a while. So I'm just trying to build a position based on that premise. Let's have a look around at what the other stuff's doing as well. 15 minutes to the off. Yeah, so it's a bit of a waiting game until either I decide to cancel these or I get filled. What could help this, a sharp movement up in these ones. So sharp movement up in this or this. Could see that bearishness come into this, but it is a bit of a speculative one because it hasn't really punched much lower on support. It's kind of just met it. Just going to move this up, just in anticipation this could get filled, and then I'd have a better position on this rather than going for a, something further out. Although it's 6p profit here, should this get filled, then the profit potential would be better at this level. So I'm just kind of getting a Q position and reducing my profit expectations on how far it might move. Seeing some movement here. I think this was moving up out of the corner of my eye. And this has been quite sticky to get matched on. And as I said, should the next period of time that I intend to do these low stakes still, if this pans out okay, then the next level up is working with partial exits really. So I'll increase my stake size. This is going against me, but it is going into resistance. I'll hold tight for now. Just gonna, so this was at what, 7, so 7, 6, 8, okay. So just switch around the exits so that I've got, it's more likely to hit this level than that level. So put £4 there and £2 there. This is, got to be careful with this. So I'm still looking at this going up. And I'm not too panicked yet because it is doing what you'd expect price to do. It's moving up into its resistance. So it could bounce. Oh, it has broken it. I have to be careful. Approaching 8s now. This might be one to scratch. Let's see what happens at 8s. Got out. The dynamics of this had fundamentally changed. It was breaking new highs rather than new lows. So really, this is one to potentially go long on. Because of the way it's broken. I'm not going to fall in love with that one though, because I just want to see if there's any other opportunities elsewhere that might be a bit easier to read. Okay. do see this punching higher, both of these punching lower. So that's what I'm trying to get on this again now, but in the opposite direction. So you can see I'm not falling in love with a specific direction or selection. You know, willing to take a loss. And just say that I'm wrong if I'm wrong. This breaking loads of interest. It's just a bit hard to read the actual number, but it looks like that. Yeah, I've got filled on that. So got some skin in the game on this one. I'm just going to pull this down. I'm just looking at where price has been matched previously, so that could act as resistance. So I've put out a partial exit here at just underneath the 9. So I'm anticipating now that this is going to be bullish and push higher. I'm on the touch on this one, so looking for this to get filled. It's pushing up high as well. Let me just get a tiny bit more skin in the game, if it lets me. Oh no, what was I thinking? Hang on. That pushing up does not help me. Oh, well, got out. Got out anyway. Yeah, I don't know what that. Basically, this correlation doesn't actually help me. This one and this one, but hey ho, they seem to be moving in the same direction anyway. But you can see there, I've been able to reduce that loss from 50 whatever p it was to now, you know, roughly 37p across the board. So I have been able to reduce loss, but still got a position in here. Got 8 minutes to the off. This bullishness has maintained. Fours here might be of interest. A break of this lower. Okay. Especially if that keeps on moving up. I'm going to cancel these. So I've got £4 net position. This has continued to move down. I'll leave this one in here. It's going to be a bit more defensive. Oh no, not there, not there. Don't get filled. Going to just be a bit more defensive in terms of my profit targets, because it just might consolidate at this level. And it's coming to that area where it's just outside my comfort zone of trading time. And I've got to be wary as well that I'm not chasing just because I made loss on that first one. You know, just to try and break even, I've got to be just mindful that I'm not just trading for trading's sakes. So I'm anticipating this could find some resistance off of fours and potentially move lower again still to at least come to these kinds of levels. This is moving up pretty hard, which should help this. Just going to put a couple outside of the money as well, just in case we see some sharp movement, because I've got £8 net to fill. Let me just, oh, you muppet. Come on, mate. So got filled on that. Carrying some green. Just readjusting slightly just to play on the conservative. It looks like this could be finding support on fours, which is going to help this potentially break its lows again and move lower if this, you know, continues with its bullishness. £4 to lay off. Can't be too greedy. Time is ticking down as well. And I'm thinking of the opportunity cost as well. So me staying in this one, trying to, fix things here or eke things out in a market conditions where I generally don't do as well. My time might be better spent just looking at the next, greening up, like going flat on this, and then just going into the next race. This is, it's continuing to push up. So yeah, okay, got filled. Reduced that loss there from whatever it was, 56p down to 11p red up. Yeah, so it's a kind of a trade-off in terms of this trade-off. But yeah, I mean, literally and figuratively, in that, I effectively would, got a profit there of 40. If you think about, okay, if that loss hadn't been there to start with, the gains that I got back would have been around 40 to 50p. So if I was pushing a bit more in other races, possibly that's what I could be getting. But I think that was a bit more, not as risk averse in terms of how I might normally trade. So that meant, yeah, the profit was greater overall. I was able to make back quite a lot on that, but the risk was greater. So yeah, there is prospects to start pushing, maybe to be more aggressive on positions that I take. But as long as I'm keeping green and not making massive losses, that's the main goal, really. So next one for 15 minutes CR, 43 grand matched, wonderful. Favourite at twos, come in, been bouncing around between support here and then resistance tops here. It looks like it's going into that resistance at around 2.25, or I guess 2.24, 2.4, 2 spot 24, 2 spot 26. So this is our reference point break. So that might be, let me just, okay. Could be punching higher. This is definitely punching lower. Don't want to just jump on the back of anything. I'm going to try and get a position short on this, because this is moving up sharply. This has broken its support, but I need to get a decent price. I think this is a 3-horse race as well. So okay, I've got filled. Got some skin in the game, £2. Want to get some more, but just at a decent price. So this has come back into what it was previous resistance, is now support. So I'm anticipating this could just be support here and it moves off higher. But more importantly, this one here, I'm deeming, this level around where my entry was as resistance. So it shouldn't move too much higher than that, and hopefully moves lower. We got 12 minutes to off. Very tight book, 105%, 100.5%. So on the touch now, let's see if we can get a fill. Very stagnant, this market. Almost feels like there's something wrong with the feed, but no, there's price coming through. Okay, got filled on that. Got filled on that, so quite a heavy position. Just need to be mindful of that. Just come back into these lows here, 2.2, 2.24, 2.26. So hopefully we'll find resistance off of those. 246, okay. Let's have one at each level. So, seeing this coming in, which isn't going to help me, this is punching higher. Could be punching above that resistance I was talking about, but I'll maintain for now because it hasn't really convincingly moved past it. So it could come back down to challenge these lows again, and beyond, and break them, and you know, make lower lows. So I shall maintain, but with an air of caution. Starting to drift a bit, so this could be a higher low. If this, you know, starts to challenge these previous highs and moves higher, which is good in the context of what we want to see. Nine minutes. Continuing to drift. I think the chart's lagging there, but it is continuing to drift. Oh, okay. Didn't even notice that one. Got some of that laid off. So that's giving me a bit more wiggle room in terms of break even. What we got? 8 minutes. Do I think this is going to punch past these lows? Okay. Wow. Okay. That's, you know, big chunks of money came in there. That's why you have some out of the money, like I did there. So you can see, oh, it's only 1p difference in it. Let me just, too late. So that one is a good reason for having, you know, some partial exits outside of the money, or just waiting for a bigger break, because this one here, you can see it, as soon as it came into that support, or basically a chunk of money, I think it was about 4 grand I saw came in, moved the price down, and it's broken past that support and moved for new lows. So that's one of the advantages of either having partial exits that kind of net off your position to flat outside of the money, or having some partial exits in there and then just having, you know, one or two that you haven't, that you look to close out manually, just to attempt to take advantage of those bigger moves. Certainly could have milked that in terms of having, you know, more money, more partial exits further down, but yeah, I'm happy with that. It done what I anticipated, and was on the right side of that, so can't complain. So next one. $16 minutes to off. Poor volume matched here. Not great, not good at all. There's a lot of vig in this book as well. And you can see, you know, I mean, the charts are okay, but I mean, there's like double digits. We want to see hundreds or thousands on the book here. Not very liquid at all. And the reason I look for this book to be as tight as possible, as near to 100%, and you often hear me say, oh, the book's pretty tight, is because the tighter this is, unless the nearest is to 100, the better, because it means there's going to be a tighter correlation between each of the selections. So if that was like 100 and 103, 104, 110 or something like that, there's too much vig in there. It's not basically, the nearer this is to 100, the nearer this is to the true representation of the probability of all of these outcomes happening. So what I call the vig is the percentage over that probability happening. So it's saying at the moment there's about 4%. Like, I'm not explaining this very well, but there's kind of 4% or whatever, 3% beyond the realms of what probability actually is. You want it to be as near to 100 as possible. So terribly explained, but yeah. So with this one, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to pass on this. It's unlikely that this volume's really going to pick up. And again, I'm just thinking of, if I was scaling up in this using bigger stakes, would I be looking to trade something like this with piss poor liquidity? Nope. It'd be a very silly move. Easy way to lose money. So let's just see what the next one's saying and how far it is out. 24 minutes, not too bad. Yeah, as long as there are not too many of these. Yesterday was just there was like 15-minute gaps between them, which doesn't sound too bad, but it was that, and also a lot of issues with the charts as well, because a lot of them had moved in, making it hard to read what the charts were saying. So I passed on quite a few, making the gaps even longer between each of them. Yeah. But yeah, in any case, like I said, if you are interested in seeing this live, then I'm on Twitch daily, usually around midday UK time. It's just Mr. Exchange Trader on Twitch, and then on YouTube it is uploaded within a few hours to YouTube as well on a daily basis. So we've got a favourite here at 2s, second favourite at 6s, coming into 7s, or no, going away from 7s. So favourite has come in, and it's steamed in, and it's found support. It's flattened out, finding support these previous lows as well. So let me just see if I can get a read on what price that might be. Not really. So I'm guessing about 2.62 is its support. So a break lower than that could be interesting to short, but need to be wary as well. This second favourite here seems to be steaming in, so a break of that, it'd probably be better to wait for a bounce of that to correlate to this being a break lower, because this is being bearish overall, moving lower, and you don't want these to be, you don't want to trade off things being, moving in the same direction. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait around a bit, get a bit more of a heartbeat for what's going on, see how I might be able to structure this. Just looking off screen for a moment here. But again, just going over the psychology of things, you can see how, started the loss on the day, but you can't let that affect you in terms of how you continue. As long as you traded it well, and I feel I traded it well, I'm happy, even though that's a loss. I I consider that a winning trade because I think my management of it was good enough, and I'm happy to take a loss if I'd entered on the premise of a good premise. Then the market will do what it's do. The market will do what it's going to do. All I can do is manage around it, and I'm happy with my management of that. So, what's 888? So, so this looks like 8 is the oh no, is that 9? Okay, no, it's 9. 9 is the resistance on this. This high here, these highs that we've seen the price encounter a few times, which is odd because it's probably very, very low volume that's matched to that. That's not something that I've really looked at previously, but I mean, if 9 is the resistance, there's not been much matched at it, but it is, it's a significance because it's struggled to move higher. So certainly a punch higher than 9s might be of interest. Certainly if this, there's no divergence in these, and one of them comes in strongly, looking for breaks, so that might be viable. This does look like it's steaming, doesn't it? 19 minutes, so still good chunk of time still. This here is still very flat. This is just a gentle steamer. I am partial to shorting this, but it's just not been anything convincing otherwise to support that. I don't want to just jump on that just because I feel that it's steaming with nothing to back it up. Liquidity could be a bit better as well, but it's been worse. I mean, 26 grand matched, not great. Might just wait a bit more. Yeah, look, this looks like it's pulling back as well. So it's steamed in, and this could be now pulling back just to make a new lower high, or it could be going to challenge these previous highs here. It can be tricky to read on these charts because it is quite nuanced, in that it's very slight movements that you're looking at here. But that's what it could be doing, either coming back into that resistance or creating a new high, a new lower high, to then challenge the lows again to potentially punch lower or just consolidate. Looks like it's finding support at just over 8. Yeah, 8.2. Although lower would still be viable. Nothing's really jumping out at me at the moment in terms of taking a position, and that's when it's so much more important just to sit on your hands when nothing's really screaming at you, trade me. Then it's probably not there. It's like it's punching lower, and this has started to drift. Okay, that's a bit more context. So this looks like it could be slightly drifting. This looks like it might have partially punched lower past its support. So I'm going to attempt to get short on this. Again, it's just so, it's very nuanced. If you're looking at that, you might want to bring up the bigger chart and zoom in a bit, or but yeah, like he's punching lower. No skin in the game though. £500 is a bit out of whack in terms of what the market's currently doing. So if that disappears, then the market could just strongly retrace. So it looks like it's real because the person who is maintaining it has money jumped in front of it as well. So it's being keenly backed. Might see a break, or at least this come off of support. 15 minutes. Okay, I'm feeling that I'm a bit late to the party on this. However, it's going to move down, but I don't want to overpay for that. So viably, we could see one of these that is kind of pushing higher or off support move a bit higher, which is why I've put in some positions over here. So yeah, I've got to be careful that I don't get filled on multiple positions at the same time on different selections, because that way you just double your risk and split your attention. So I've got some skin in the game in this now. Still got £2 net stake to lay off. Got some more wiggle room on the break even. Just gonna get a feel for where this might be stalling, and look to take out a position. So I've put this in here, so at least I've got Q position, but I'm just looking for signs of reversal. This is punch past sevens now. That could be interesting. We got 12 minutes. Got to be wary that I'm potentially jeopardizing my profit here by taking a new position. I have to keep my wits about me. I'll take that out actually. So do I feel this is going to continue to punch up? Too late now. Market's taken the decision for me, but I'm anticipating it could at least go into resistance and steal a tick. But yeah, I just need to be wary that I already had some green. This might be a bit of a greedy move. 11 minutes is outside of my normal trading, comfort zone. But we'll see if we can take another tick off of this. If I am nervous at any point now, there was a chance to get out of break even and scratch it. What's going on here? Let me just think. So I've just seen this roll over slightly, which is just changing the context of the trade a little bit for me. This has started to flatten out as well. So I've brought this down to break even to see if I can get out and scratch that trade and, you know, protect my capital. So it's a defensive game. Defensive game. Defense or defense? I don't know. So see if this gets filled. And that could be an example of just, you know, it's just pushing in. So this hopefully should, you know, get filled. But that viably is just, you know, over trading, looking to taking on additional risk when, you know, my typical trading criteria had already been met in terms of what I'd expect from any given race. Certainly I feel this is going to punch lower, but I'm not going to get on that now. Just going to green that up and go. So next one we have here is the 145. 20 minutes or so to the off. Let's have a look at the stats. 25 grand match, could be better, not bad though. Favorite twos come in, found support, so it's steamed in, but you know, found support. We've got these highs here, so it could be attacking these lows here now. If anything, in fact, yeah, it's a gentle steam. The highs have been getting lower, and the lows have, you know, arguably be getting lower as well. So, you know, I guess a slight short bias to that, to backing this in. But the second favourite here has drifted. So it's like it's hit resistance here. Can't quite read what number that would be, but I guess 325. This is punching for new highs here. And this is quite flat, finding support just above. Oh god, well, somewhere between 7.5 and 10. So, what can I see? Yeah, I definitely have a bearish bias on this, but I want to see, what could I do? So going short, if this breaks this support, again, it's tricky to get an exact read on what the price is that it needs to break, but I'm guessing about 2.18. It could be 2.16. But a break of these lows here would, well, it has to be this one, isn't it? 2.16. So it's as low as it's traded. But that breaking, then, you know, this punching past these highs might be of interest. So to go long on this or to go short on this. It looks like this is actually attacking these lows now. Just under threes. Yeah, 17 minutes. So still got quite a way until that's ready. So match volume does look like it's picking up. 27 grand, definitely tradable. I'd be more, you know, I'd be happy to put 20 quid, 50 quid stakes into this. Should be able to absorb. Obviously not now, because it doesn't really seem to be, there's no liquidity, it's not really moving. But you can see at least on the favourite, it will be able to take bigger stakes But yeah, staying with £2 just for a little bit longer. Yeah, 27 days of doing this now, or at least recording it. 20 days of recorded trading. And some decent progress. But yeah, again, as always, can't get too big for boots. Might be something just around the corner. Get lazy or lose concentration. Or just something, black swan, as they call it, comes along. Something I've never seen before. One-off thing. Wipe out all that hard work. But you've got to be optimistic. You've got to be optimistic. Be good. I mean, pragmatic is probably the best way to put it. You can't be overly inflated ego in terms of what's possible, and your ability, because the market will humble you every time if you're just being too overconfident. Same time, you can't be too fearful and too negative about the realms of possibility. So yeah, you need to be pragmatic. That's the best word I can think of. So it's attacking these lows. Certainly a break of this I think it's 2.16. It must be this support area. This punching past that would be of interest if. Oh, this is coming into threes. So this might find support off of threes. So a sharp move up in this could correlate to a break of this to move lower. So shorting that would be would be good. But also, as this breaks, this could just find support off of three. So I could viably go long on this. So lay this. Even though at the moment, yeah, you can see it started to flatten out, but it's pulled back and it's coming. It's kind of flattening out here. They're both flattening out at the moment. So I'm just looking for some divergence between these two, really. One to go one way, the other, and try and hop on the back of whichever moves, or wait for one to move and do the opposite for the other. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things thinking about there, but yeah, it's just being ready for what could happen. And you can see that's just the thought process I'm going for. What could happen? How am I going to act if it happens? And what would be a good price to get in at? So this is punching lower. All right. I'm going to try and get some skin in the game on this. And hope that this support holds and pushes that higher. It feels very... Sometimes there's just these pauses in the market. You just think to yourself, hang on, is everything still ticking through? What's going on? Is there an API problem? Is my internet down? But you just got to be, I mean, that's useful to have this here, because this is going tick by tick. No, sorry, second by second, not by tick. So that's helpful. Just visual clues to get an understanding of what might be happening. So £6 in the game. This has punched slightly lower. This has started to slightly drift and find support off of threes, as I anticipated. So the direction's right. I've got the direction right, but the next question is, can I get filled at the desired prices? And that's why I think, going into like demo trading, it isn't always, at least with this type of market, and demo trading in some markets is perfectly a good idea. Forex, for example, we've got a massively liquid market. You can be pretty assured that the prices you see you can get in at, give or take a pip or two. But in these markets, because they're not as liquid, demo trading, I think, doesn't have, or practice trading, whatever you call, doesn't have as much significance in terms of your learning curve, because beyond understanding how the actual tools work, how the software works, you're not getting real feels. So saying, oh yeah, I would have got out here, I've made this profit here, blah blah blah, it's probably not going to get filled at that level, depending on how much you're using as well. So having at least some skin in the game is useful, in my opinion. So I've got some of that taken out again. All right, what's going on? That could be punching lower. All right, let's just play defense on this. So maintaining this position here, I need to be wary of this now attacking these lows, but this has still remained quite bearish. So I had, put up my profit, reduced my profit expectations, and I think it was an initial £8 net position, so that's now down to 4. Although it's going to increase it if this gets matched. But I feel this at least could hold for resistance. There we go. Still got £6 left to take off, and that's all got filled. Could have probably been a bit more greedy on that, have all the ones a bit lower, but hey, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Went to plan and made a profit, so no fear of missing out, none whatsoever. Met the objective. So 9 minutes to the off on this one, made some green. I think it's time to move on. Move on, son, move on. Right. So we've got 18 minutes to the off, 24 grand matched. Tight book. Favorite 4s. Second favorite also at 4, so these are just going to flip flop between first and second probably. What can I read in the charts? What are the charts telling me? So this has come in. It's found support here at lows. It's moved away, gone into these previous lows here, found resistance, going to come away again and find support again at these lows. How many horses are in this? So these, like the front 3 here, or at least the front 2, very similarly priced. So movements in them aren't going to have as much impact on the rest of the book as, say, something at 2s or odds on. But there's still going to be correlation. I'm just trying to see. I mean, these two look quite correlated in terms of recent price move. I'm looking at this move. If you take this from here to here, it's kind of drifted. This here is a similar kind of thing. It's kind of drifted, as is this, to be honest. It's just this more. It's not as noticeable because of the distance that this price has moved already. But they've all had a slight drift, really, which means that something else has probably come in on these higher price ones, or on aggregate they've come in. It's not seen any immediate trading opportunities. Just had to double check my mic was on there for fucking hell. I've had in the early episodes of these, there was several instances where I'd forgotten to, or I'd had the mic in but it wasn't recording through the streaming software. Just had a thought there that was the case, but no, streaming okay, all is good. So what can I see? 16 minutes to the off. This looks like it could be coming into support of its previous lows, so a break of that would be of interest. I'm guessing, again, it's hard to get a read on these. But yeah, it must be 4.5. So a break of 4.5. This is useful. This is on 5s. Has it gone into it or bounced off of it? So break higher, say on any of these, or at least these two. So this pushing past 6s, this pushing past 5s, and this pushing lower could be of interest. In fact, I think it's already. It's a bit speculative, but it has broken those previous lows, these lows here at least, and it's just edged past, I think, these lows. It's hard to tell on these charts, so I'm going to take a punt, if you like, on it potentially moving lower. Got filled, so I've got some skin in the game. £4 net stake. So any of these punching higher would be a good help to my position. Already got my partial exits in there. Looking for a fill on this one as well, just to get some decent value for money. Do I want to add to that? No, because there's been no confirmation yet from these other ones. I mean, this has partly moved higher, but it's higher odds. But I was contemplating whether to get in another position here at 4.5, but I decided against it. I'll just leave this one in. If this gets filled, then that's my lot. A net position of £8 overall. So it's a weird situation where I'm looking for something to get filled, but I'm also looking for it to move lower as well. So I needed to go higher, but then lower. So, still no signs of anything really pushing for new highs on these other ones, which makes me a bit more skittish about holding a position that involves the price having to punch to make new lows. Because it basically, by having it lower than what it's already been matched out, I'm saying it has to make new lows for me to make a profit, which is possible, but the more probable thing is that it's at least going to go back into support at this level, which is why I've moved this up from 4.3 to 4.4, because we have seen volume already matched at 4.4. So it's just a bit of a defensive game. Okay, yeah, that's been matched too. Any signs of these? Okay, seen a move on that. So this is me, potentially jeopardizing gains by looking to take a new position, but I don't think it's unwarranted. It's looks like it's piercing that previous lows there, so got a bit more skin in the game. It's a bit too heavy. That's rolled. Let's just do this sensibly, because that started to break its lows, which may not help me. But I've moved up my profit target now to support. We've seen some money matched already. What am I going to do? I'm going to leave that one in. I'm going to leave both these in. And then probably attempt to steal ticks. 12 minutes, just under 12 minutes to go till the off. Okay, so got filled on that. So I've got £8 net stake, £8 net stake in total. That is punching lower, and this is slightly drifting. Alright, let's just be sensible. Just trying to listen to the market, what it's doing. This still is viably punching lower, but I've seen this here break its support and potentially move lower, which could affect this one. But okay, no, got filled. So this is probably going to start to move up again. But yeah, could have stuck that out for more money. But I was just trying to play on the defense there. A profit is a profit though. So we've got 10 minutes to the off. Greened up on that. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, it's a bit of a shorter distance. It's only five minutes difference between these. So this is 15 minutes. Ugh, look at that. Piss poor. Piss poor, old boy. Piss poor. 7 grand matched. 15 minutes to the off. Yeah, that's terrible. I think this is one of the Irish races, which typically have less liquidity. I think Punch is Ireland. So, fortunately, there is one after it that isn't too much of a difference in time. It's only 8 minutes after it. So it gives us 22 minutes to the off on this. First thing that just jumps out is this chart here. This is steamed in hard. Second favourite is drifted. So these are inversely correlated. This is coming in, that's going out. The others have been a bit choppy, or this one has come in, but the relationship between these two is the most interest for me. Both at 4s. Just looking off screen here very quickly. So 13 on that, 28 on that. Okay, so yeah, so looking back at the screens now, so I'd be looking to short this favourite potentially and go long on this. Although this is coming to its resistance here at these previous highs, so this has failed to, or it could be failing to make new highs as it's coming to its resistance. This one here looks like it's broken its resistance, potentially punching higher. And this one is a much clearer steam now as well. So within that short period of getting to the market, things have the dynamics have changed slightly. 5.5, I'm guessing. Yeah. Falling into 6s. So currently I'm thinking short, potentially go long, potentially go short. So this one I'm not too sure about, but just see what comes to fruition. I do want to get long on this, or I'm contemplating getting long on this one. I'm just seeing some upward movement in this. You can see in the chart it could be a new lower high. Yeah, it's just a bit of a waiting game until something screams at me. I mean, you can't see my eyes, obviously. I mean, my mouse movement of my mouse gives me some intention of what I'm kind of looking at. It's not always the case, but yeah, just kind of assessing what each selection's doing, while constantly just seeing what the time left is. Because the nearer it gets to 0, the more risk there is. This could be punching 6s. Gap in the market. See, that's not good. The fact that there's a mispriced. There's nothing at 5.3. And that's one of the reasons as well. I mean, if I came in and I just saw that and thought, yeah, that's steaming in, let me jump on the back of that, have some of that. It'd be a bad position at the moment. It'd be going against me. So that's why it's worth just taking a heartbeat of the market, first of all, just to get a feel for what could and could not happen. I mean, the premise, as negative as it sounds, the premise of a lot of my trades is what could go wrong. So I position myself of, what can go wrong, and I'm managing the risks first of all. Is like, okay, if this goes against me, this is where my stop loss is likely to be. Or this is my reference point in terms of support resistance. It just helps structure the trade so that it can generally have a more positive outcome. But yeah, rather than thinking of start of what can go, what's the upside, how much money can I make from this, is how much money can I lose from this, and try to work backwards from that. This is coming in, so this is looks like it's coming back in, so this is going to push something else out. Might be a push of this over resistance. These are quite strongly similar prices. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, this one. I mean, the main thing, I'll just say with the main things that kind of stick out for me, I mean, this has started to drift ever so slightly. This is coming into its support. And this here has held at 6s for a long time. So break of 6s might be of interest on this. This drifting, so maybe a break of... I can't get an exact read on that. What is that? 4.4, I guess. How long we got? 14 minutes. 4.4. That's a slight guesstimation because I haven't got an exact read on it, but I'm assuming that's about 4.4 that support was, and it could be punching lower, and this is maintained. Oh, hang on, I only got £2 in the game. Oh well, let's see. Yeah, it does feel like it's especially. Oh, let's move this down a bit. Just increase my profit expectation because that looks like it could be punching over fives, and this, rather than just meeting support, could punch lower. So taking on a bit more risk. I'll leave these ones in here as well to potentially get filled, but you know, potentially just giving up a profit there, but with good reason. And there's always the opportunity to, at this point at least, break even, pull it into this, or attempt to get a lower profit at this level. Still might not get filled. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Drift on this has become more apparent, and this has become more apparent, this steam, as it's broken support. So these are starting to become a bit more correlated. Well, inversely correlated, which is what I want to see. We've got 12 minutes to the off. A little bit skin in the game. £2. Possibly get a bit more, but I need just to find resistance here and then fall away. So I would like a fill here, but at the same time I want it to move down as well. So it's like it's almost a double bind. It's like I want you to go up, but I want you to go down as well. But I did get filled on that, so I've got net stake of £6 now. Just put in a partial exit now for £6 for £2. So £4 of it's here. So hopefully I'll get, might get filled on these. Put something way out the money in case there's a chunk of cash that comes in and pushes the market lower. But yeah, I need this. It's the way it's come down now. It's broken its previous support. It's viably going back into that previous support and creating resistance. And I'm anticipating it could just move lower based on that to make new lows. So that's the way I've structured this trade. Just gonna move that up to fours. Makes sense. So, how long we got? 10 minutes to the off. Yes, remember I said on this one I was looking at sixes. So if it broke sixes, you can see how it's broken six and it's moved lower. So that was a viable option as well. But yeah, I took it on this. Can't be on everything at the same time, and in fact it behooves you to try and be on everything at the same time. It's just more risk, and I said more risk and less attention. Doubling your risk and halving your attention is not a good formula. But on the touch now, let's see if I get filled at this. And if the theory holds up that this is still resistance. So yeah, that's been filled. So a bit more profit, a bit more wiggle room in terms of where the stop loss is. Don't want to be too greedy on the potential profit targets. I've moved that up slightly just because there wasn't any erratic moves that came within the amount of time me holding that and got filled. All right, decent. All things considered, still small stakes for now, but this is, I think it's going to punch lower. This is approaching fives now. It looks like it's going to break fives, and this is approaching fours. 2 crossover points. Very interesting. Certainly, you know, one of them breaking is a sign to potentially be short on that or long on that. But that's by the by. 8 minutes 40 to go. My work here is done. I'm going to move on to the next one. 25 grand. Yeah, it's all right. Let's just see how I've been doing here. And if you're on YouTube and you happen to have made it this far through, well done. Feel free to leave a comment or follow. I do have a playlist as well, so you can see all the progress I've made. This is what, the 27th video. So yeah, just tracking my progress. It's been I'm happy with it so far, and looking to up stakes soon. So still got some waiting to be settled, so I'm just looking off screen at the moment, so bear with me one sec. So that's 28 on that, didn't trade that, 37 on that. So so settled, looks like I've got a loss, started the day with a loss of 13p, then a profit of 28p, then a profit of 12p, then a profit of 13p, and still to settle is a profit of I think it was like 28p, and then a profit on that last one of around 37p. Feels like there's one missing, but okay. So it's around about, well, it takes me over £1 actually. Takes me over £1. What's the time? How long have I been trading here for? Yeah, okay. So let's see. We have got a 15 minutes to the off. Favourite being quite choppy, finding support here, finding resistance here. Looks like it could be moving into its lows to find support or potentially break and move lower. Second favourite, also reasonably choppy, finding support. Looks like it's just potentially broken that support to move lower into sevens. So there is, I've got a slight bearish bias to that in terms of this, you know, shorting potential. This third favourite here just looks like it's coming into support here, these previous lows. So, you know, viably maybe a break of that or a bounce. It's tradable, but or using this in context to another. So this moving up off of support could lead to this. All right, actually it has broken. Oh, okay. Let's just have a goosey gander rather than wittering away. So it's gone into sevens. I don't want to buy at sevens because that's where it's actually found support looking at the chart. But I'm happy to short, or is it? These charts are so fucking hard to read. Right, I'm going to put something on sevens. Haven't really seen any bullish movement in the other ones, which is doesn't help the position, but get some skin in the game and attempt to make some profit, or at least not lose money. All right. So £6. £4 might be a bit heavy, but we'll see what happens. Not the best attitude to have, but yeah, the risk and the reward lies with me. Just gonna take some of that off though. 7.4. Cancel one of those. Don't want to be too overzealous. Just got to constantly be thinking of, you know, the amount of risk in terms of I'm taking, the position size in terms of what I'm working with on average. So going in too heavy could just damage a lot of work for some silly, position. So I'll leave this in. I did reduce that from 4 to 2. On a touch here to potentially get taken out. Profit, in fact. Do I want to leave that there? What's the time? 12 minutes. Still no signs of bullishness on the other ones. Right, got to play this sensibly. Where do I want to move this though? So I've seen this punch lower, but I haven't seen anything discernibly move out. So that's why I'm just being a bit more defensive in terms of these profit targets. I want to see these bounce off the support. So I've reduced my profit expectations based on that. So on the touch here now, could take this out at 10p profit right now if I want it by going at market. What's wrong with you? You got hiccups or something? But I'll hold tight on this. This looks like this could be finally finding some signs of bullishness, although that's something to be wary of. These are starting to correlate by looks of it, making similar movements. Not too much of a worry, to be honest, at these types of odds, but just gonna be content if this gets filled, but also be ready to move it up to take a lesser profit if needs be. I'm not sure if I saw that move in. It's moved into support, got a decent position, but got to be ready to scratch it, especially this looks like it could be approaching 5s. I don't know if I saw that out of corner of my eye and moved down, so might just scratch this depending on the next few moments what happens. I've got a decent enough position. It's only 80 quid that needs to be matched. Okay, got filled. Wonderful. Green up on that. I started later today, didn't I? So on average, I'm actually probably doing better than normal, even with a loss. So I normally start about 12, trade till 2. Started about 1 o'clock today, and I'm still at a similar level. So 37 left to come in on that, 17 on that, and that's it. Okay, so just looking off screen for a moment. Da, da, da. 0.68. That's okay. So that last one puts me on 122, £1.22 on a day. Do have a lot of work to do today. Not trading work, other stuff. So let's see. I've left this one a bit. Oh, hang on. This is the one I've already traded. All right. Let me just have a quick look at the next one. I think it's pretty shitty liquidity. Yeah, fuck that, mate. 14 grand, 16 minutes to go. I'm going to call it a day. Quit while I'm ahead. But this is, I think, in terms of like determining your own trading day, this is just my personal preference. Like, to hit a target like over £1 is fine. I'm just thinking of scaling up if that was 50 quid on a day, 100 quid on a day, whatever, for 2 hours work, that's a pretty good return on time. So other people, it might be more, suited for you just to trade the entire day without a target, not even looking at your P&L. But yeah, for me, it's like, okay, invested enough time, got a return that I was looking for, time to move on, or just call it a day. So I'll just go over the P&L. Still waiting for stuff to settle, but we've got a loss of 13p to start the day, then a 28p profit, then a 12p profit, then a 13p profit, then a 28p profit. And to settle, we've got another one. I should have had this ready, really, shouldn't I, before starting yammering on. Then a 37p profit, and then lastly, well, it's like 15p to 17p, but all in all, it's about £1.22, £1.20 to £1.22 profit that I'd have cleared on the day. So I'm happy with that, and yeah, call it a day for today. But I'll be back again tomorrow. If you found it useful, just let me know. Drop a comment, anything that you think could do differently or that you've found useful, it'd be good to know. But I'll be back again tomorrow around about midday UK time to trade another day. See you then. Take care.